ago, 2 or 3 years ago, we were on a cruise, my family and I, and on this cruise, they had this little walking board that went outside the ship. That you would walk on this little thin piece of wood over the water and walk back over the boat and then go back on the outside. My son is adventurous. He doesn't mind trying anything. So he said, his mama was nowhere around, so he said, Daddy, can I try it? I said, hey, man, go for it. Had she been there, she would have divorced the whole situation. The whole calamity would have been aborted. I said, go for it. He got out there, Brother Andrews, made it halfway and froze. And out there in the middle of the water, he looked at me and said, Daddy, come get me. Well, here's the problem. I'm not too big on that type of stuff. I don't ride roller coasters. I ain't doing that adventurous stuff. For me to get to the grocery store and back alive is an adventure within itself. So he kept screaming, Daddy, come get me, Daddy, come get me. So I got up there because I had to man up. I had to be the man. And they were putting all this harness on me and this stuff around my shoulder. And I got up there and took 3 or 4 steps and I froze. And the guy who had hooked me up, he said, listen, man, you're not gonna fall because behind you is a hook that is connected to a rail that will keep you from falling. He said, the problem is, as you keep walking out there, you forget that what's behind you has you. You just think you're walking by yourself, but you're hooked up to something that won't let you fall. Is somebody in here this morning that knows that there was some time where you would have given out on life, but it was what was behind you? I think that King David says he had some brothers who were riding with him. They are called goodness and mercy. Had followed him all the days of his life. And the reason he didn't fall out, the reason he didn't fail was because God had his back. But it's amazing that God has to keep proving to you and I that he has. So what God does is God makes your life unrest. He makes your life uneasy to see who you trusting in. So you know what God would do? God will make you go through a divorce to wake you up. You know what God would do? God will lay you off from your job to see who you trusting in. You know what God would do? God will force you to have a funeral Saturday to see where you're depending on mama and daddy more than you were depending on God. He will shake up your life so you can stop depending on people and things and start depending on him. And when he gets your attention, a lot of times he can work on you to build your faith. But you can't go through it and miss it if you don't look at yourself.